Hello everybody, this is Cecilia signing in and welcome to my channel. And thank you for your comments, they've been very inspiring and I've really enjoyed them. And so today we will be making another beginner friendly project and I'm excited to show you this drawstring storage bag. This bag is going to be made in 15 minutes. This bag is going to be made with what is called the French seam. It sounds more difficult than it is. It's actually very simple. And again, you won't see any seams on the inside and you don't even need to use any crisscross stitch or zigzag stitch or any serger. So without further ado, let's start with the project. What you will need are 2 pieces of fabric. Fold it in by 1/2 inch. So you just fold the raw side in by 1/2 inch on both pieces of fabric. You would cut in, snip it. The reason why we've snipped the 1 inch is because we want to fold it in by 1/2 inch and then another 1/2 inch. And that will be in line with the French seam that we do later. So I will explain to you as we get on. So you do this on both pieces of fabric. This is going to be the cord casing. Now we're going to the machine and we're going to sew this down. Back stitch, cut, and do the other piece of fabric. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold so that it touches the end of your sewn line. So it will make a 1 inch cord casing. Use your iron it down, clips across, and you'd sew using the same stitch line. And do the same for the other piece of fabric. So you turn it to meet this mark and it'll be folded down to make 1 inch. It'll be a 1 inch cord casing. So the next step is sewing the seams together using the French seam method. To do this, instead of 2 right sides together, you're going to put the 2 wrong sides together. So this is a good method where you don't want to use any zigzag stitch and you don't have a serger, so you can't serge the fabric, but at the same time you don't want the fabric to fray. And so this is a very good technique. All right, so to do this, you would pin or clip all around. Again, make sure everything aligns and that the cord casing that you've made for both pieces align. We're going to sew this edge all the way down, and then when we come to this point, we pivot and go across, and then pivot again and then go up. And we want to sew as close to the edge as possible, because after that we're going to turn the fabric over and do another stitch, so there will be no raw edges showing. So your sewing machine will have a mark for the 1/4 inch. And when you get to the bottom, just raise the foot and pivot. And so what you're going to do is you're going to turn it and you're going to sew it again on the inside. But you must make sure that you're not going to be catching any of the raw seams that on this side. So to do that, you would use your pair of scissors and cut the fabric as close to the stitch line as possible. And you do it on all 3 sides. You turn it so that the pretty sides or the right sides match. So you're going to turn the bag over to the wrong side. And what you want to do is you're going to iron the seams, and you're going to feel for where the raw seams ended, and that's where you're going to stitch. Okay, so use your iron, and chopsticks will be required to poke out the edges, but don't poke so hard that you make a hole. And now you want to stitch right across. If you're not very comfortable with stitching straight lines, you can just use your ruler, and that will help you just stitch right across. Okay, so you can, this is another way you can do it. Just use your ruler and just go all the way around, and make sure that the raw edges are nicely tucked within your stitch line, so your raw edges are not going to show. And it's done. So now all you need to do is just remove all the stray threads. You turn it around, use your finger to poke it out, or a pair of chopsticks. Your bag is done, and when you look on the other side, there are no raw edges. You've sewn all the raw edges in. Show you again on this side and on the bottom. You've stitched all the raw edges in. There are no raw edges. So this reinforces your seam line, but at the same time, you don't need a lining. Your bag is really neat. Now we turn the bag over to insert the cord. Can you see that there's a lot of fray on these cords? This is a nylon aeroplane or parachute cord. So a good way to stop the cord from fraying is to use a lighter. And your cord won't fray. Now, what you will need is your safety pin. And this is the old baby nappy safety pins. I like to use it because it has a safety catch and it's not going to come out while it's in the tunnel. It pulls on both ends. Okay, that's a technique of doing this, and it's really a beautiful way to have the cord instead of pulling it on one end. It's not very difficult, but there's a technique. The technique is you will need two pieces of cord, one on the right and one on the left, and wherever you insert the cord in, that cord must come out on the same end. So I'll give you I'll show you how to do it. So first, tie this or make a little knot. So you have your cord, and then you insert it in. So this has come out on the same side, as you can see. I'm just going to tie a knot here, and this side's been done. Now I'm going to do the other side. So same thing again, and your bag's done. I'm going to show you again how the string draws so nicely. There are no raw edges. Everything is really neat inside, and you can make it any size you want. I've kept it really simple by just using one fabric. If you like a combination of fabrics, you can use two combinations of fabric. Or the next video, I will show you how to do the drawstring bag with lining and with a box bottom. And now this is one with lining. I'll show you how to do the lining. And this is one with a box bottom, and it has lining inside, and it's reversible. So for the next project, I will show you how to do this. This is Cecilia signing out, and if you have found this video useful, just give me a like, subscribe, and press the button. See you next week.